Good morning. Welcome back to Morning Line, 1400 KRON. Krista is in studio with me from JJ's Helping Paws. Doesn't feel like it's been a month.
I know.
It's just like, bam, you're back. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Christmas is next week. New Year's 2 weeks. What's happening? Yep. No, we've been busy, and that makes it go faster.
That's good, though. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we're going to recap kind of a little bit what's been happening as of late, and we got a couple things coming up.
We do. So right before our last call, we had just had a huge TNR clinic for cats with Wild Blue, and that was 115. And then later that week, that very same week, we had a clinic with Dr. McGinnis at 4 Mile, where we had 16 pet cats, spayed or neutered. And then that, like 3 days later, we had one with Dr. Metcalf at Fremont Vet, and we had 46 male pet dogs neutered in one day.
Wow.
And so we almost had 200 between our partners and between just in 1 month. And so taking a stab at it, each month, little bit here and there, but 46 dogs. And so I went by and saw it. And some of these dogs are, 60 pounds, and there's just so many of them. And it's quite an operation.
Wow.
Quite, not just the operation itself, but just where do you store them and where do you keep them, and then where do they recover? And it's just a lot of pieces, and they did a fantastic job.
Good.
All of them. So we're thankful for our veterinary partners here in the community, and we couldn't do what we do without them. Of course, we'd love to have 5 to 10 more, because we could definitely make more happen.
But the vets around here are all busy.
They are so busy.
I mean, constantly busy.
Yep. We have people that'll contact us saying, I have a kitten that's coming up on 6 months, and we need to get it fixed. And really, the thing is a lot of people are probably thinking in their minds, I want to gift a kitten or a puppy for Christmas. And there is work that goes into that, and you need to get scheduled as soon as possible, because I want to say some of them are booked out until March or April now.
So just be aware.
Yep, that's the one thing that kind of, I won't say cripples us, but slows us down from the progress that we can make. But we're grateful for the ones we have, because without them we couldn't be doing anything. But yeah, it's a great time right now. We had our 10-year anniversary. We had a big celebration, and we all came together and we did that. And it's just good to get together and kind of celebrate the progress we've made over the year. I can't believe it's the end of the year, really.
Yeah, starting a new one here shortly.
I know. And we have a couple clinics that we're having coming up in January. One is with Dr. Estridge for pet cats, and then the other is with 4 Mile, and also pet cats. But we do have in the works, and hopefully we're going to try to have them once a quarter, our partnership with Wild Blue, where they come down and help us. And that's the one that we did 115 TNR feral cats.
That's when they bring the motorhome down and convert it?
Yes, sir. Yeah. And you had suggested a couple months ago, and it's been in my brain since then, the Office Depot building.
Oh, yeah.
Who owns that? We'd love to know. Maybe a listener knows.
Yeah, if somebody's out there and they know who that is, just give us a holler.
Because that would help. Because I showed you the pictures last month of them stacked to the ceiling practically.
Oh, I know.
We are a small facility, so to have that many cats in preparation the night before, and then they have the surgery, and then we keep them a night or two, and then we have the whole second day animals coming in too. So if we had a facility that was bigger where we could...
Well, you could even look at the Sears building. Is it still empty?
Where's that at?
The Sears right there by, right there on Rainbow Drive, right by... can't think of the name of it. T&J Pest used to be right there, but the Sears, it's on the south side of 50, just up from the True Value is right there, just kind of up the street a little bit.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah.
I've only been here in Canyon for 2 years, so.
Yeah, they went out a couple of years ago.
Yeah. If anybody knows of a location that could be rented for a 4-day period, that would be okay for bringing
rented, not bought, just
rent
used
it
for that.
Because we only need it once a quarter, and that would help us. It'd have to have power, obviously, heat.
Most of them do if they're.
Yeah. So if anybody knows any connections, that would work for us.
What number can they call if they do have something that's available?
They can either email us at jjshelpingpaws at gmail, or give us a call at 719-315-1665.
All right. 315-1665? Okay. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
So, again, anybody knows of how big a building is Office Depot might be a little big, but it's still usable.
It's still, we would probably only use a quarter of it. But rather than having them stacked on top of each other, we could line
spread them out.
Put down some potty pads and And then we have to feed them, and we have to clean out their things. So that would be the thing. They can be smelly and then can be messy, but they'd be doing a huge favor to the community by getting.
So reach out to them if you have an area that's sizable. Not doesn't have to be huge. 719-315-1665.
Yes,
and give them all of that. What else is new and exciting?
What else is new and exciting? Well, adoptions. We've had a few successful adoptions locally, and that's a new project we took on probably within the last 6 to 8 months. It wasn't something we have the capacity to do, but we have a specific adoption crew now that does a great job of meeting with the people and checking out their home. We do a home visit. We do not currently adopt out any outdoor cats or indoor-outdoor. We are indoor only.
Okay.
So that's something that people here in the community need to know. There are other rescues that do have barn cat programs, but that's just not something we can undertake right now. But adoptions-wise, we have a couple that are available on our website right now. 2 little boys. One of them I happen to be fostering, and then another.
Yeah, I saw a picture. Cute little kitty.
He is so cute. His name's Juan. He's named after the cemetery down in Florence.
Really? Okay.
Yep, he's a flame point Siamese. We think he's around a year. We actually thought he was 6-ish months because of how small he is, but now looking at his teeth, we think he's a little bit older, and he's just over 6 pounds, and he may not get bigger than that. So,
so if you want a smaller cat, might be something you might want to look for. And again, he's beautiful.
He's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Someone's going to be lucky to see
him.
Now,
is he on the website?
He is on our website, as well as Jasper, who is a ginger. He's a floofy little guy, and he's a super sweetheart, very intelligent cat, kind of independent, but loves love. So we have a couple boys. And then, we work with our partners. If we can't adopt them out locally, they will both transfer to one of our partners that can, hopefully have more eyes on them and people that come into their facilities to adopt in the bigger cities.
Now, when you come in, let's just say somebody wants to adopt one. Again, you say you want to have a home visit. You just want to make sure it's safe and everything's good. As far as if I were to come in and say, I'd really like to have him, the home checks, everything, what am I getting back? I'm getting, obviously, a cat that's healthy. And what else?
So they'll be either spayed or neutered. They'll be fully vaccinated. They'll be microchipped. And they'll have been loved. We're not going to just adopt out feral kitties. We have to take them young enough to socialize them. And that's kind of where Juan's at right now. All of his 10 siblings have already been adopted out through our partners. One of them was a local, and he just, if he is a year old, the older they are and the more used to they are being outdoors and avoiding humans, it's a lot harder to socialize them. So, we'll have continual new ones come in, and they just got to check our website. But really what would help us so that we can keep our eyes and ears open for them is if anybody out there is interested in adopting a kitty, get in contact with us so that we can go ahead and know what you're looking for, what kind of cat you're looking for, if it needs to be a male or a female, if you have specifications. But if you're looking for, a lovable couch potato, or if you're looking for somebody who's an independent and kind of aloof kitty, we can then be looking for them in advance versus just some people contact us, I want one for Christmas. Well, Christmas is next week. So we're probably not going to be able to help you at this point. So it's a process for sure.
It's always.
And then they'll take them home. One of the little kitties I fostered, she went to a home, and I got to meet her new parents, and they send us pictures. And that's what we love about local adoptions is, we kind of have a relationship with these people, and they'll send us updates, and we know they're in a good home and being loved. Where when they go off to the city, we don't know necessarily who's going to get them. We may never get another update. And so while it's great to have them local, and we would love them all to be local, it is a process, and it takes some time.
Now, cost-wise, what would, let's just say, I'm just going to use one because that's a good example as any. I want him, what's it going to cost?
Kittens, our adoption fee that covers all of those things we mentioned, as well as their food and their care that we've given them that far, is $150 for a kitten. And then if it's an adult cat or a senior cat, it's $75.
Not bad.
Now, if they were to adopt in pairs, because, we really do recommend, like you brought your dog home as a a
that was a good idea.
Double the fun and trouble. But they do kind of keep each other company, and cats especially love to be adopted in pairs. Now, sometimes it's not possible, but like for Juan specifically, he needs a playmate. My 2 cats and my dog just are like, I could care less about you, and they're not interested in playing with him or loving on him, but he desperately needs a younger cat at home. So those are some things that we could talk about if someone contacted us and said, I want to adopt, and then we would know what we're looking for specifically.
There's like a deal. Is there a deal if you buy two?
If you adopt two, I'm not 100% sure. It probably depends on the person.
Okay, fair enough.
And we'll try to work with them if we have two that are bonded together. We might be able to give, a $50 discount or something along those lines.
Everything helps.
Mm-hmm.
Everything helps. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. Welcome back to Morning Line. Krista from JJ's Helping Paws in studio with me this morning, and we kind of run out of stuff to talk about. We'll find something to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this. You guys just went through your 10th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
You've only been here the last couple of years.
I started in October.
What does JJ, what do they think about being around this long? Because it's very cool and it's very exciting because you've kind of found a place in the community and your little piece of it, which I think is outstanding. Is she happy where you guys are at, or would she like to see this grow? Where's she at on that?
So just a bit of history in case individuals don't know. Our organization is actually named after JJ, who is Jerry McGuire, who passed away 11-ish years ago from cancer. And she was a local here that loved to help, and she would, out of her own money, groom dogs to help them get adopted. And she just had a special place in her heart for animals. And so her twin sister, Nathalie, kind of took on the cats, and Jerry would take on the dogs.
Right.
And in her dying wishes, she really wanted to continue her legacy of helping the animals. And so that is where JJ's Helping Paws was inspired from 10 years ago. Nathalie started it. And, it was just a small group. We're all volunteers. None of us are paid, including the board. Right. It's all, it's a nonprofit, totally fund-driven from grants, donations, those that care about us in the community. We did just have Giving Tuesday, which is always the Tuesday after Black Friday, and we had a huge amount of support come through on that. And then a week later is Colorado Gives Day. Right. And I would have to go through and total up all of the donations we received, but we're just so thankful for the community that has supported us. And I know some other rescues shared about us up in the bigger cities, and we had donations come from there as well. But, here in this community, everybody rallies around us, and it's so sweet to walk in. And we just yesterday had the Canyonland hikers and walkers. They did their third year food drive for us, and they brought a bunch of bags of food and litter and things like that by. And we could not do what we do without the support of our community. And so I think that, as we've expanded, it might have just started with this small program with JJ's 10 years ago, but to see what we've evolved into, we have our senior to senior program where we have elderly cats or maybe medical needs cats that we try to partner up with senior compassionate individuals that want a companion, but that might not be able to afford what comes along with pet ownership. And so we provide the basic medical care as well as litter and food for that animal for their entire life. And so that's a great program, and that helps two individuals out, both the cat and the human. Yeah. And then our Uber Kitty program is probably where we see the most cats and we get the most calls. And that's more of a owner surrender type situation where we will take that animal in and care for it, but we only have so much space available. So, through our foster programs, we have about 9 fosters right now that help us out. And we couldn't, if we don't have space at Molly's Place, which is our rescue facility, and we don't have room in a foster, we only can do so much. And so
understandably.
we have people that call us and they found 2 cats and 4 kittens and you need to take them. Well, we can't do that, and we are not open to the public. And so, when you talk about we talked about adoption, we need to schedule that in advance in order to have a time and a specific day that we're going to do a meet and greet with that animal. But we can't just have people showing up dropping off cats because we're not quite like the human
society. You're not
equipped
really for it, are you?
No, we don't have intakes all the time, and so we need space and or a foster home to take them in to be able to work with them. But that Uber Kitty program is where we will take those owner surrenders when we have the space. I think we have about 30 on our wait list at most times.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's an unfortunate need constantly. And sometimes, we have maybe a kitten that was found completely alone, no mom, after 24 to 48 hours. We're going to move that to the top of the list because that kitten will die without
Well, it's a survival thing
Mm-hmm.
at that point, yeah.
And so we have to kind of triage, if you will, which ones need us the most. But that Uber Kitty program will work with them. We'll get them healthy. We'll get them spayed or neutered. We'll get them vaccinated. And then we will either locally adopt them if possible, or we'll transfer them. And so we probably have, 300 cats that come through that program every year. We'll total up our numbers at the end of this year. But then we also have our TNR, and that's in conjunction with our community feeding program where we have the food bank. And, still around 500 a day we feed here in the community.
That's a lot of cats.
Through our community colony managers. And we give them the food for that. And, we'll TNR them so that they stop that continued overpopulation. Because we've talked about it before. They can't help. It's their nature to reproduce. Yeah. And they will. If they're outdoors and not spayed or neutered, you're going to have 4 to 6 more kittens in the spring.
Yeah, you have a whole bunch more. And the trap and release, which I think is a great idea. I mean, I think it's not something you're going to see a change overnight. It's transitional, but I think we are hopefully seeing change.
We think so, because we used to have between 550 and 600 a day, and we're reducing that. Now, obviously, outdoor cats aren't going to have the lifespan that an indoor cat will. There's predators and there's cars and humans that are just cruel. But if we can continue to inch that number down, that's what our goal is to get them to where they're no longer producing outdoors. We'll continue to feed them for their life as much as we can, but if we can stop that continued overpopulation issue, that's what our goal is with that program.